car accident, my husband gave his payroll card to his sister-in-law, Megan. This time, I didn't stop him. Because in my previous life, the moment I voiced any disagreement, he lashed out at me, calling me cold-blooded and heartless, saying that as a woman I should understand how pitiable a widow with a child is. My in-laws took his side, even saying, marrying a wife can ruin 3 generations. And then they embellished the story online, which led to me being viciously attacked by strangers. When Lucas noticed me zoning out, his face darkened. "Jenny, do you not want me to give the payroll card to Megan?" I quickly shook my head. "Of course not. With your brother gone, it's so hard for her to raise a child alone. I support you giving her the card." Only then did Lucas's expression ease. "Good. I thought you might disagree, but even if you did, I've already decided to do it." With that, he walked out with the card, clearly heading to Megan's place. I immediately called a few movers. "Please take down our air conditioner, washing machine, and TV and deliver them to this address." Then I messaged the well-known gossip in our neighborhood. "Big news to watch. Come quick." I pinned the location, right downstairs from Megan's building. I paid extra for the movers to drive the big truck around her complex, that honking several times to make sure everyone noticed before stopping in front of her building. "Megan, I'm here to bring you some things." Megan and Lucas came downstairs together, both looking puzzled. "Jenny, what are you doing?" Megan asked. I pinched my thigh so my eyes would redden, then took her hand. "Megan, your husband just passed away. It's not easy to raise a child alone. Lucas said he'd give you his payroll card, but I thought that's not enough. So I brought over the brand new TV, air conditioner, and washing machine from our home to replace yours. Don't worry, I'll make sure you live comfortably, no worse than when my brother-in-law was alive." The moment I mentioned him, I started wailing. "Oh, big brother, you left just like that. How is Megan supposed to manage with the child?" I sobbed, putting on a full display of grief. Megan awkwardly tried to step back, but I held her tightly. "Don't be afraid. With me and Lucas here, we'll take care of you." More and more neighbors gathered to watch, whispering, "The eldest sister-in-law is like a mother. This family really treats her well." I heard her husband died in a car accident, poor widow and child. Her brother-in-law even gave her his payroll card. Such loyalty and kindness. There really is true love and compassion in this world, so touching. When Lucas saw I had brought over all our appliances, he frowned. "Jenny, what are you doing? I saved up for a long time to replace those." I knew he was reluctant. "Lucas, Megan just rented a new place. She doesn't have any appliances. How can that work? These are the ones we just replaced, perfect for her. You men aren't as detail-oriented as we women are. Even if you give her your payroll card, she wouldn't have the heart to spend it on big appliances. Since we already have them, let's just give them to her so she can be more comfortable." Then I gave him a questioning look. "Lucas, you're not getting stingy, are you?" Caught off guard, he quickly shook his head. "Of course not. How could I be stingy when it's for Megan?" Then he helped the movers carry the appliances into Megan's apartment. When my nephew saw the shiny new TV, air conditioner, and washing machine, he clapped his hands in excitement. "Great, I've got a new TV to watch." I patted his head. "Good boy. If you ever want anything, just tell your uncle and aunt. We'll make it happen." "Really?" His eyes lit up as he looked from Megan to Lucas. Lucas smiled warmly. "Your aunt is right. If you need anything, just tell me." "You're your dad's only child," Lucas said to my nephew with a smile. "My money is for you to spend." Megan, sitting beside him, nodded in approval. Watching the 3 of them acting like one happy little family made my nails dig into the flesh of my palms in anger. In my previous life, Lucas granted Megan and this nephew anything they asked for. Yet he ignored me and our daughter completely. Megan already had hundreds of thousands in compensation and death benefits from her husband's accident, plus Lucas's monthly salary, but she still spent her days shopping and getting beauty treatments. Meanwhile, I worked 3 different jobs just to pay for our daughter's schooling and living expenses. This time, I swore I wouldn't let them live so comfortably. That night, Lucas woke up drenched in sweat. "Why isn't the air conditioner on? It's so hot." "You forgot." I cut him off. "We gave the air conditioner to your sister-in-law." I dragged out a standing fan. "Stay calm and you'll feel cooler. Just think, At least Megan and your nephew are sleeping soundly tonight. We can put up with it. Lucas tossed and turned, unable to sleep. Tomorrow, go buy a new air conditioner. With what money? I only make $3,000 a month. Half of this month's grocery budget is already gone, and we still have water, electricity, and gas bills to pay. My words left him fuming but speechless, and he didn't sleep a wink that night. The next morning, Lucas got up early, eager to escape to the company. At least the air conditioning there worked. The moment he left, I packed up our things, took my daughter, Lily, and headed straight to Megan's apartment. Megan, looking groggy from sleep, opened the door and froze when she saw us standing there. I brushed past her into the living room. Megan, I'm here to enjoy a bit of cool air. It's just too hot to bear. Her place was exactly as I expected, chilled to perfection, doors wide open to let the cold air spill through the whole house. After all, Lucas was the one paying their utilities now. Why shouldn't we enjoy it too? Jenny, this isn't really appropriate, Megan said hesitantly. The place isn't big, and it's inconvenient with 2 kids running around. How come you didn't say it was too crowded when you used to come to my place for the air conditioning? I countered. It's fine. Lily will do her homework by herself. I'll help you with chores and cleaning while you rest in your room. We won't disturb each other. I threw her own words from the past right back at her, and she choked on them. At least I actually did chores when I said I would. Whenever she came to my place, she just sat on the couch playing with her phone and never lifted a finger. By lunchtime, I stopped Megan from ordering takeout and patted my chest. I'll cook. When I opened the fridge, I was greeted with shelves crammed full of chicken, duck, fish, and pork. And Lucas thought Megan was pitiful? What a joke. Lily and I didn't even eat meat every day, but here they had enough to last weeks. Seeing my raised eyebrows, Megan rushed to explain. My parents sent it. They said we've lost weight after what happened to your brother-in-law. So they asked someone from our hometown to bring it over. I nodded along, playing the part, though I knew it was utter nonsense. Since she'd married my brother-in-law, I'd barely seen her parents a handful of times, and those visits were just to ask her for money for her brother. People like that wouldn't stock her freezer with meat. And I'd seen the discarded packaging. It was from the big-name supermarket nearby, the one that charges over $1,000 a year for membership. Still, I cooked up a whole spread, meat and vegetables, and then took photos to post on social media. As long as Lucas and I are here, Megan will never have to suffer. It wasn't long before Lucas messaged me. You went to Megan's place? I replied. Megan can't cook. Ordering takeout every day isn't good, especially when our nephew's still growing. I decided to make them 3 meals a day so they can eat well. Don't you have work? He asked. Your brother just passed away. In a time like this, of course, Megan comes first. I quit my job. Once she recovers emotionally, I'll find work again. Lucas's chat bubble on my phone kept showing typing. But in the end, nothing came through. I let out a cold laugh and shut the phone off. Of course, he could hand his entire salary card to Megan, because he was certain I'd use my own wages to support our household. In my previous life, I worked 3 jobs to keep this family afloat, and in the end, I collapsed and died in the shop where I worked. This time, I'm done exhausting myself. I've quit too. Let's all sink together and see who breaks first. At dinner, I picked up the bowl of ribs and filled my nephew's bowl to the brim. All you need to do is eat well, sweetheart. Let the adults handle the rest. Thanks, Auntie, he said, grinning. These ribs are amazing. Way better than the ones Mom takes me out for. That big mouth of his. Megan immediately shoved a rib into his mouth. Eat. Maybe that'll stop you from talking so much. Looks like you've been eating out plenty. Worried I might overthink, Megan quickly heaped a pile of meat into Lily's bowl. Lily, you eat too. It's all country-raised pork. Nothing expensive. It had been ages since my daughter had eaten meat so freely. She was absolutely thrilled. That night, Lucas claimed he had to work late and would sleep at the office. The moment I heard that, I turned to Megan. Megan, our AC's broken, and Lucas won't be back tonight. Lily and I will stay over at your place for the night. Don't worry about us, we'll just make a bed on the living room floor. And in the morning, I'll make you all breakfast so I don't have to make a separate trip. Megan didn't even manage to get a refusal out before she stomped back to her bedroom and slammed the door. Not long after, Lucas called. I bought a new AC. You and Lily need to go home now. Don't disturb Megan's rest. When Megan walked me out, I could see her jaw clenched tight, molars grinding, but she still forced a smile. It was painful to look at. Megan, I'll be back tomorrow. Don't worry. You don't need to lift a finger for the housework. I'll take care of it. She opened her mouth, but nothing came out, her expression like she just swallowed a fly, before she turned and went back inside. On the way home, Lily beamed. Mom, it's so nice at Aunt Megan's. We get AC all day, TV to watch, and meat to eat. It hurt how easily pleased she was. In my past life, once Lucas gave all his money to Megan's household, I pinched pennies wherever I could. I wouldn't even let Lily attend a summer camp, yet Megan took her own son on an overseas study trip without hesitation. The thought made me pick up the phone right then and call Lily's teacher. I told her my daughter would be attending the summer camp too. Mom, really? I can go? Lily's eyes widened in disbelief. Didn't you say it was too expensive before, that you couldn't bear to spend the money? I didn't explain much. Just said, Mom doesn't feel like saving money anymore. Even if I save it, it's never spent on us anyway. The moment she realized she could go, Lily cheered and jumped around in excitement. The very next day, I packed her things and sent her off to the month-long camp. This month, I planned to make Lucas and Megan cough up everything they owed me. You signed Lily up for summer camp? Where did you get the money? Lucas's brows knitted when he found out I'd spent $10,000 on it. She's about to start high school entrance exams. The teacher said this camp is basically a golden ticket to Lita High School. Once she attends, she'll have an early admission spot. That kind of opportunity isn't open to just anyone. You have to be in the top 10 in the class to qualify. How could I not spend the money? Even a jerk like Lucas knew education was a reason he couldn't argue with. He sighed. Yesterday you said you quit your job. Were you serious? Without income, how will our family live? So that was it. He had his eyes on my salary. You eat at the company anyway. I can eat whatever's left when I cook 3 meals a day for Megan. With Lily away, there's barely any expense for us. And with the way things are at Megan's now, she didn't even have the mood to cook. If the adults don't eat, fine, but Chu's still growing. How can we not help? You put in the money, I'll put in the work. I'm sure Megan will be able to move on soon. Just bear with it for now. I piled on the moral pressure until Lucas had nothing to say. He even stumbled a bit on his way out the door. When I showed up early at Megan's place the next morning, her face was a mile long, but my nephew was delighted. I let him watch TV as much as he wanted and made him tasty food. Whenever his mom scolded him, I stepped in to defend him, and he clung to me like I was his biggest supporter. Every time he saw me, he'd grin and call out, "Auntie!" We were in the middle of lunch when my mother-in-law called, her voice sharp and angry. "Jenny, why haven't you sent us the monthly living allowance? Do you have no shame making us chase you for $2,000? This living allowance was money my in-laws took from us every month. $2,000 no matter what. After Lucas handed his salary card to Megan in my past life, I'd deliver takeout at night after my day job just to scrape together that money for them. Thinking about it now, I must have been out of my mind. Why did I ever give them that kind of face? I snapped. Didn't Lucas tell you? He gave his salary card to Megan. I'm taking care of her now, and I quit my job. Where would I get the money to give you? What? Why would you quit your job? If you quit, who's going to give me money? You can't just not give me money. My mother-in-law was practically stomping through the phone, and my father-in-law was swearing in the background. I hung up without another word. Megan's lips trembled when she heard it was my mother-in-law on the line. What? What happened? Did she ask you for money? I pretended to be casual. Don't worry, Megan. Since Lucas gave you his salary card, of course we don't have money to give her. I'm sure she'll understand. Truthfully, my mother-in-law was at least fair in one way. She disliked all her daughters-in-law equally. She didn't like me, and she didn't like Megan either. I was actually looking forward to her coming to cause trouble. Sure enough, before evening she stormed into Megan's place. Megan, I heard Lucas gave you his salary card. Megan stammered. It was Lucas's idea. I didn't ask for it. My eldest son died, and you got tens of thousands in compensation. Fine, I won't ask you for a penny of that since you're raising his son. But how dare you take Lucas's salary card and let his wife quit her job to take care of you? Who do you think you are? Some kind of pampered princess? What did our family do to deserve this? Both my sons slaving away to serve you. The front door was wide open, and my mother-in-law's shouting drew the whole neighborhood over. I immediately called Lucas. Get over here, your mom's at Megan's making a scene and demanding money. He hung up quickly, so I knew he'd be here soon. The drama was getting better and better. I was tempted to crack open some sunflower seeds. My mother-in-law, working herself up, suddenly dropped to her knees in front of Megan. Fine, then I'll come over every day and take care of you myself. Megan was so startled she jumped up and knelt too. Mom, please, get up, I can't accept this. What's there you can't accept? All of our family's money is in your hands. What can't you accept? The onlookers murmured among themselves, Isn't this the family where the husband died and the younger brother and his wife came to help? She took the compensation money and is still hogging the younger brother's salary card? That's shameless. Yeah, I heard the sister-in-law even quit her job to be her live-in maid. 3 meals a day, always something different. Looks like the younger brother's wife is a good, honest one, always busy taking care of everything. By the time Lucas arrived, people were pointing and whispering about him, calling him the little one from that family. Money for your sister-in-law but nothing for your own mother? My mother-in-law's voice carried right through the crowd. Lucas clearly heard her and hurriedly pulled her into the house, with Megan following close behind to shut the door. The moment we stepped inside, Lucas turned on me. Are you dead or something, just standing there? You couldn't even step in to stop this. I swallowed my contempt and put on a worried face. With Mom and Megan both here, I didn't know who to help. As if I'd stop them. Why would I? I was thrilled to see the fire get stoked higher. Then my mother-in-law spotted the dishes on the table and cried out, You won't give me $2,000 a month, but you're eating meat and fish every day. Heartless. What's the point of raising you? Lucas turned to me. Where's the money? Give Mom the $2,000. Where am I supposed to get it? I don't even have a job now. The only $10,000 I had in my account went to Lily's summer camp. If you don't believe me, go to the bank with me and check. I don't have a penny left. As I spoke, I dumped out everything from my bag. See, I really have no money. Lucas shot me a cold look, then turned to coax his mother. We really don't have any right now. Before he could finish, she smacked him hard on the shoulder. No money? Didn't you give your salary card to your brother's widow? How could you have no money? Lucas grew anxious. Mom, my brother just passed. Megan is raising a child alone. It's hard for her. You're in the village, you grow your own vegetables, raise chickens and ducks. You don't have much in the way of expenses. Why are you fighting her for money? She's having a hard time? Didn't she get $700,000 or $800,000 in compensation from the car accident? Has she given us a single cent? No, you're all ungrateful, living the good life while we old folks starve. You probably can't wait for me to die. Then she turned on Megan, grabbing and shaking her. Either you give me Lucas's salary card today, or you hand over your husband's compensation money. Why should both my sons' money go to you? Megan, yanked around, couldn't take it anymore. She slammed Lucas's bank card onto the table. I don't want it. I never asked for it in the first place. Why is everyone treating me like this? Then she squatted down and started to cry. That just about broke Lucas's heart. My mother-in-law reached for the card, but Lucas snatched it back. This is mine. I'm not giving it to Megan, but I'm not giving it to you either. From now on, I'll transfer you $2,000 every month. Stop making trouble for her. With the promise of money, my mother-in-law stopped her tantrum immediately. She turned to leave, muttering, like I'd want to stay in this stupid city anyway. You're all useless. Pah! I walked her to the door, and she rewarded me with an exaggerated eye roll before raising her voice. Second daughter-in-law, why don't you go get a job instead of playing maid for her? What is she? A princess? She can't cook? Then she should learn. I heard working as a maid in the city pays well. If you've got extra money, give me more. Megan's face turned darker and darker. Lucas couldn't take it anymore and rushed his mother out the door. After she left, Megan suddenly collapsed. Lucas and I scrambled to get her to the hospital. The doctor said there was nothing seriously wrong, likely just an emotional shock, and she'd be fine after a couple of days of rest. But Megan, for reasons I couldn't fathom, turned delicate and clingy, insisting on staying in the hospital. One moment she claimed her head hurt, the next that her stomach felt sick. Lucas, of course, looked on with pity and told me to take good care of her. "Is that your husband? He's so good to you," I overheard another patient say as I came back with food. "Of course," the woman's companion replied. "Anyone can see how much Lucas cares for Megan. They look just like a married couple." Worse still, after hearing that, the two of them didn't even bother to correct it. They just looked at each other and smiled. Disgusting. I said nothing, not wanting to alert them. I quickly took out my phone, snapped a picture, then put on an innocent face and pushed the door open as if I hadn't seen anything. "Lucas, the cafeteria was out of chicken soup, so I just grabbed something simple. You and Megan can make do with it." The moment they heard me call him Lucas, the ward went silent. "Oh, he's your husband? So you're the younger brother-in-law and sister-in-law?" "My mistake," one patient said awkwardly. Others began whispering to each other. With gossip that juicy, who knew how it would be twisted behind our backs? Megan immediately buried her face, and Lucas hastily made an excuse to go back to the office. Oh, so now they didn't dare flirt. With Megan in the hospital, the job of looking after her son, Chu, naturally fell on me. I took him to malls and restaurants every day. Whenever we needed to spend money, I'd have him call Lucas directly. And Chu wasn't exactly frugal. He could blow through 1,000 a day without blinking. I didn't stop him. I wanted to see how long Lucas's generosity would last. Sure enough, less than a week later, Lucas called me. "Jenny, where are you taking Chu every day? Why is he spending so much?" I feigned surprise. He said these are all the places Megan usually takes him. I didn't know any better. He said he wanted to go, and I couldn't just say no. After all, your brother just passed. If the kid feels like we're mistreating him, how would that look? Even so, the spending's way too much. Talk to him. "Oh, I see. You want to play the good guy and have me be the bad guy? Nice try." I turned to Chu, who was holding a toy and about to pay. "Your uncle says you've been buying too much lately. You can't get anything today." "I don't care. I want it. Mom said I can spend Uncle's money however I want. Why won't you let me?" Chu shouted, bouncing up and down so hard his fat jiggled, making my eyes hurt. For days I hadn't stopped him from buying or playing anything he wanted, so now the sudden refusal was too much for him. He threw a fit right there in the store, then stormed off to the hospital to find his mom. "Mom, Uncle won't let me buy a toy." Megan, in the middle of some kind of shoulder therapy, was startled by the outburst. "Oh no, how much was it?" "If Uncle won't buy it, Mommy will." She reached into her bag for money. That's when Lucas walked in, because of course I'd called him. "Chu's spending is out of control. It wouldn't hurt to rein him in a little," I said. The moment I finished, Megan's face darkened. "I knew it. We're just a widow and an orphan, so of course we get bullied. Your brother's only been gone a few days, and you already won't let his child have a toy." Seeing her upset, Lucas's voice softened. "He's already spent 5,000 in the past few days. So what if it's 5,000? You said you'd give me your salary card, didn't you? Now you can't even let a kid spend that much?" Megan suddenly shifted into performance mode, sniffling. "If I'd known it would be like this, I'd have gone with your brother. At least I wouldn't have to stay here and suffer alone." I stood there, coldly watching the two of them go back and forth. Lucas only made a little over 10,000 a month. If I didn't have an income of my own, there's no way we could support the household. Megan had always lived in comfort, and now, with the compensation money from her husband's death, she was spending without limits. I was curious to see how long they could keep this up. Megan stayed in the hospital for a full week before a nurse came to ask for payment, 20,000. "Didn't the doctor say you were fine? Why is it so much?" Lucas asked, staring at the bill and blurting out in shock. "What's with the fuss? It's just 20,000. Megan said dismissively. She was used to spending 2,000 a session on her usual shoulder and neck treatments, so she didn't think much of it. Lucas turned to look at me. I shook my head. "I haven't worked in ages. I don't have any money on me." Lucas had no choice but to swipe his own card. wincing at the cost. When we got home, Chu came bouncing over. "Mom, I want to join this overseas study tour. They take you to visit Harvard University, and it's only $59,999. Can you sign me up, please?" That flyer was something I had deliberately placed where Chi would see it. I knew he'd been itching to go abroad, and dressing it up as a study tour was the perfect excuse for a trip tailor-made for him. "My precious son, if you want to go, of course Mom will support you," Megan said, taking the flyer and turning her eager gaze toward Lucas. Lucas sucked in a sharp breath. What study tour? 60,000? Lily's summer camp for a whole month was only 10,000. Hearing that, Chu's face scrunched up. "Uncle, didn't you say I could ask you for anything I wanted? How come now you won't give me what I want? You adults are no fun." Megan's face darkened too. "You can't even fulfill this small wish for your nephew? I wonder what your brother would think if he saw this from up there." She then shooed both Lucas and me out, saying she was tired and wanted to rest. On the way home, Lucas stayed silent, and I couldn't be bothered to speak either. Just over 10,000 a month, yet he insisted on financially supporting someone else's household. Ridiculous. How blind was I in my past life, working myself to death for a man like this? As soon as we got home, Lucas spoke up. "Jenny, with the family finances so tight, maybe you should look for a job." What he meant wasn't the family's finances, it was his own wallet that was feeling tight. I kept my expression neutral and agreed, "You're right. Now that Megan's out of the hospital and can look after her own kid, I should go find work." I'd thought that 59,999 yuan trip abroad would finally make Lucas balk, but to my surprise, he actually paid for it. When I saw Megan's photos from overseas on social media, my heart went cold. I messaged Lucas, "Megan and Chu are abroad now. Did you pay for that?" "Jenny, Megan's had a hard time. Money can always be earned again," he replied. A wave of nausea churned in my stomach. My own daughter's 10,000 yuan summer camp had been too expensive in his eyes, but 60,000 for Megan's trip was just fine. So my labor and sacrifices were worth nothing, and I was just the fool footing the bill for his precious sister-in-law's family. That's when I decided I needed to speed up my plan to leave this house. If I didn't, I'd be stuck serving Megan's family for the rest of my life. But right now, Lucas would never agree to divorce, so I'd have to make him bring it up himself. I pretended to spend several days job hunting, stopped cleaning or cooking, and didn't even pay the utility bills. One night, when I came home, the place was pitch dark. Lucas's voice came out of nowhere, making me jump. "Where have you been? You didn't even notice the electricity's out. Look at the state of this house." "Where do you think I was? Looking for work. We can't even pay the electric bill. If I don't get a job, we'll be living on air." My tone was sharp, and Lucas's own softened. "Honey, I was just asking. You've always been the one to pay the electricity bill. I don't even know how." "Then learn. You figured out how to send your nephew abroad, didn't you?" I shot back, bringing up the 60,000 for Megan's trip. That made Lucas bristle with embarrassment and anger. "That's my money. I can spend it however I want. What's it to you?" "Lucas, we're married. Do you understand the concept of joint marital assets? You can blow 60,000 on another woman's kid, but the electricity bill at your own home is waiting for your wife to pay?" Incredible. I used the overseas trip as the spark, and we had a full-blown argument. Sometime later, I made sure to arrive at the hospital at the exact time Megan was scheduled for a follow-up appointment, at the same hospital she always went to. I made sure my eyes were red before accidentally bumping into Megan in the hospital corridor. "Hey, watch where you're going," she snapped, stumbling and landing hard on the floor, wincing in pain. When she looked up and saw me, her expression shifted to shock and annoyance. "Jenny? What are you doing here?" I clutched the fake medical report I had prepared, tears streaming down my face, refusing to speak. Megan snatched the paper from my hands. "Stomach cancer, Jenny? You're seriously ill." I grabbed it back quickly. "Megan, please don't tell anyone, especially Lucas. If he finds out, he'll definitely divorce me." She hesitated for a moment, then said, "All right, I won't tell him," and even put on a show of comforting me for a bit. Of course, I knew she would tell Lucas immediately. That was exactly the result I wanted. That evening, Lucas, for the first time in forever, didn't work late. He even had dinner with me. Halfway through the meal, I pretended to feel nauseous and bolted to the bathroom. From outside, he asked with concern, "Jenny, are you okay?" I came out looking pale but brushed it off. "It's nothing, just the heat. Maybe I ate something too greasy." Lucas studied me suspiciously. I put on a pained expression and forced myself to swallow more food. In his eyes, I was clearly hiding an illness. Over the next few days, I timed it so that just as he walked in the door, I'd make retching sounds from the bathroom, then hurry out as if nothing had happened. "Jenny, what's wrong with you lately? Should we go to the hospital?" he asked one evening. No, I went to the clinic already. The doctor said it's just indigestion. Take some stomach medicine." After hearing this a few times, Lucas seemed convinced I had stomach cancer and was keeping it from him. When Lily's summer camp ended, I pulled Lucas along to look at houses in a good school district. "Why are we suddenly thinking about buying a house?" he asked, hesitant. "We don't have money for that right now." I checked. The down payment is low. I can borrow some from my family. We'll just buy it for Lily to get into a good school, then sell it after she's enrolled. We'll only lose a bit in loan interest. Then I lowered my voice, pretending to mutter to myself, "There's not much I can do for my daughter." Those words hit Lucas differently than I said them. He paused, then softened his tone. "But we still have a mortgage on this place. The down payment for a second home would be even higher." "Not if we get a first home loan," I said. "If we fake divorce, it would count as a first home. Then we'd get the lower down payment." "Fake divorce?" His eyes flickered with thought, and I knew I had him. "It's just on paper. Once we get the house, we'll remarry. You can understand, it's for Lily's schooling." Lucas hesitated. "Let me think about it for a couple of days." The next day, Megan came to the house. "I heard you're looking for a school district house for Lily. I thought I'd get some ideas too." "Sis, aren't you planning to buy a place too? I think you should check these out. It'll be convenient for choose schooling later." I handed her several folders of listings I'd gathered. "Here, these are the ones I've researched with school zones and price per square foot." Megan flipped through them absent-mindedly, then said, "So you really are looking, and you're not planning to tell Lucas about your illness?" "I'll wait until the house situation is settled. We don't have much money now. Once Lily's school district is secured, my mind will be at peace. If we have money, I'll treat it. If not, I can leave without worry." Pa, don't say such unlucky things. Megan had gotten all the information she wanted out of me and quickly made an excuse to leave. I knew she'd go straight to Lucas and tell him I was really sick, really wanted to buy a school district house, and that the fake divorce had no hidden agenda. Sure enough, that evening, Lucas came home and told me he agreed to the fake divorce. The current house, which was under my name, would stay mine. The second house we bought later would go under his name. We had no savings and no significant assets to divide, so the process was quick. Before long, the divorce paperwork was done. Walking out of the civil affairs office, Lucas let out a deep sigh, as if he'd finally shaken me off. I gave a cold laugh. At last, the grand finale was about to begin. When we got home, Megan and her precious son were sitting in the living room with their luggage. "Megan, what is this?" I asked. She sat there like she owned the place. "You and Lucas are divorced now, so of course this house belongs to us. Finally, a painless divorce. You have no idea how long Lucas and I have been waiting for this day, always wondering how to get you out. Never thought you'd suggest a fake divorce yourself. How stupid can you be?" I glanced at Lucas. He looked flustered and quickly tried to pull Megan aside. "Why are you here all of a sudden? Didn't you say you were getting divorced today? You're divorced. Why can't I come?" I took out the property deed and cut through their bickering. "Megan, look closely. Whose name is on this deed?" "That's right, mine. The ones who need to get out are you two." Megan's eyes went wide, disbelief turning to fury as she looked at Lucas. "You lied to me. Didn't you say that once the divorce was done, you'd give me a home?" "Yes, that's what I said," Lucas replied shamelessly. "But don't you have your late husband's compensation money? We can just buy our own place with that." His blatant two-timing was almost breathtaking. Megan punched him in rage. "You were after my money all along." Lucas grabbed her to stop her blows. "So what? Jenny won't live much longer anyway. When she's gone, the house will be mine, and my daughter will be too." No wonder he hadn't objected when I said the house would be mine. He'd been planning this all along. I pulled out the medical report and tossed it at their feet. You mean the stomach cancer? Sorry, that was fake. I'm perfectly healthy. You lied to me, Jenny. You liar! They shouted, both rushing toward me, only to be blocked by security, who had arrived just in time. Flashing my property deed and divorce certificate, I confirmed I was the sole owner and had them, along with their luggage, thrown out. Divorced, with the house and my daughter both mine, throwing out the trash had never felt so satisfying. I mailed all the photos and recordings of Lucas and Megan's misdeeds to Lucas's company. He was promptly fired. As it turned out, Lucas and Megan had never even married. Megan, unwilling to part with her own money, refused to wed him. Lucas, furious, beat her, and she called the police. He was arrested. My in-laws, furious on their son's behalf, stormed over to Megan's place, shouting that she was shameless for seducing her brother-in-law. Now the whole area knew about them. Watching their chaos filled me with delight.